In a recent analysis, a Russian military publication outlined common tactical errors made by their ground forces during the ongoing illegal invasion of Ukraine. The piece also delved into the innovative approaches and strategies employed by Ukrainian forces in drone and electronic warfare. As reported by Samuel Bendet, an expert in unmanned systems and Russian defense technology, the Russian magazine Amrayski Spornik addressed standard operating procedures during drone operations. Notably, Ukraine has distinguished itself through the disciplined use of civilian unmanned aerial vehicles and ground-based air denial, while Russia has excelled in advanced electronic warfare, hypersonic weaponry, and long-range missile attacks. In a Twitter thread, Bendet cited the Ukrainian military's extensive use of ambush tactics, typically staged in concealed locations such as bushes, hollows, and forest glades along Russian military routes. Designed to slow down an advancing force, these tactics have been evident in several incidents where Russian tanks and armored columns have come under fire from anti-tank rockets, followed by counterfire from their infantry fighting vehicles. Long supply lines of destroyed Russian trucks have also likely fallen victim to these ambush tactics. Furthermore, Ukraine has employed long-range artillery with fire guidance and adjustment facilitated by UAVs, constantly rotating and regrouping units to maintain mobile defense. The utilization of commercially available DJI drones for artillery fire correction by both sides has been a hallmark of this conflict. However, shoot-and-scoot tactics have not significantly impacted the battlefield, as Ukraine has almost exhausted its Soviet-era field howitzers and now depends on Western-made M777, M109, or Polish KIB self-propelled guns, many of which have been destroyed by Russian Lancet III loitering munitions. The Russian magazine also highlighted Ukraine's active use of electronic warfare, video surveillance, sensors, high-precision measurement and aiming devices, and camera traps for fire destruction. Ukrainian forces have relied on computer tablets equipped with software for exchanging information via the internet and assigning tasks. The armed forces of Ukraine have also employed mobile groups, conducting short, 5-minute nighttime raids using 2 to 3 pickup trucks with around 10 personnel. Upon discovering Russian positions due to open communication channels or cell phone usage, these groups would then call in rocket artillery fire from multiple rocket launch systems for 2 to 3 minutes. The Russian invasion of Ukraine has exposed a critical weakness in their operational security: the use of unencrypted, easily jammed radios and mobile phones. This failure, which has drawn both scrutiny and ridicule, stems from a combination of lagging technological development in Russia's software-defined radios and a lack of discipline among both junior soldiers and senior officers. The magazine highlights that Ukrainian infantry actions were supported by snipers, artillery, air defense, and electronic warfare, allowing them to target weakly guarded Russian convoys transporting fuel and ammunition in populated areas. However, it would be an overstatement to claim that Russian infantry and artillery have achieved nothing. The significant number of Ukrainian casualties, as acknowledged by European Council President Ursula von der Leyen, Ukrainian Presidential Advisor Mikhailo Podolyak, and President Volodymyr Zelensky, speaks to their efforts. Approximately 20% of Ukrainian territory, including areas in the east and the south such as Zaporozhye, Kherson, and Crimea, is now under Russian control, which would not have been possible without a marked superiority in artillery systems and air power. Russia's approach to a protracted, attritional war has evolved to accommodate and correct such mistakes, as opposed to a rapid, piercing blitzkrieg, which would have necessitated overwhelming force and resulted in more unfavorable diplomatic and strategic outcomes. The magazine identifies key tactical errors, such as disorganized movement of military columns and single vehicles, as well as excessive congregation of personnel in combat formations. This has led to inefficient anti-tank defense and insufficient protection from enemy anti-tank weaponry. Retired Indian Army Colonel Rajendra Baduri, an expert in tank warfare, also observed that Russian armored movements have been marred by surprising rookie mistakes, such as tanks advancing without infantry cover in built-up areas, making them easy targets for anti-tank fire. According to Baduri, it is astounding that the Russian forces neglected such fundamental battlefield practices. Despite these tactical setbacks, Baduri asserts that Russia has accomplished its strategic and political objectives. However, the continued use of open communication channels and cell phones with SIM cards has facilitated enemy electronic intelligence gathering and made Russian positions vulnerable to artillery or mortar fire. In conclusion, the Russian invasion of Ukraine has illuminated several tactical errors and OPSEC failures that must be examined and addressed by Western military strategists. While the strategic objectives may have been met, the human and material costs resulting from these shortcomings demand a thorough reassessment of tactics and technology for future conflicts. In a stark illustration of Russia's disregard for basic OPSEC principles during the ongoing invasion of Ukraine, unencrypted mobile phones have been widely used by their forces. Army technology has reported that this vulnerability has been exploited by the armed forces of Ukraine, resulting in targeted artillery strikes that have eliminated high-ranking Russian officers. Regarding UAV operations, Russian forces have been advised to launch drones such as quadcopters at a safe distance from active battle formations and maintain low altitudes during reconnaissance flights. This approach is intended to minimize the risk of detection and interception by Ukrainian forces. Recently, Brigadier General Oleksandr Tarnavskyi of the Tavria Tactical and Strategic Group shared images on Telegram showing destroyed Russian military vehicles near the embattled town of Vuhledar in Donetsk. Ukrainian forces are reportedly maintaining defensive positions around Vuhledar, thwarting Russian advances toward the nearby city of Avdiivka. In a 3-week offensive earlier this year, Russian forces failed to seize control of Vuhledar, sustaining significant losses in the process, including at least 130 tanks and armored personnel carriers. Former U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis and Mark Kansian, a senior advisor with the Center for Strategic and International Studies International Security Program, have attributed these losses to tactical errors and poor coordination within the Russian military. Although Russian mil bloggers reported limited ground attacks near Vuhledar, Ukraine's general staff did not identify the town as an active combat zone in a recent operational update. Nevertheless, they acknowledged that the settlement had been shelled by Russian forces. In early April, the Russian Defense Ministry reportedly dismissed Colonel General Rustam Muradov as the head of Russia's eastern group of forces in Ukraine due to failed attempts to capture Vuhledar. Additionally, Russia's 155th Naval Infantry Brigade, previously considered an elite unit, has suffered heavy losses in the area and has been reconstituted multiple times since the start of the conflict. Western analysts, such as those from the Institute for the Study of War, have observed Russian forces employing human wave-style frontal assaults around Vuhledar, resulting in high casualty counts. This further underscores the strategic and tactical mistakes committed by the Russian military throughout the illegal invasion of Ukraine. As a military general, I strongly urge the continuous evaluation of the Russian military's tactical failures and strategic successes in Ukraine. This assessment will enable us to identify areas for improvement and adapt our own tactics to ensure a more effective and efficient approach in future conflicts. Thanks for joining us for this episode of War Zone. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we'll see you next time.